Okay, question 38, the ball question. Okay, so we're going to go through and we're going to work through the ball question here. Okay, this is probably an important one. I suspect you might see something like this on the exam. A rubber ball is dropped on a hard surface from 10 feet up. With each bounce, it loses 10% of its previous height. So here we go. So it drops down, boom. Here's the hard surface here, and then it starts to bounce, and it's bouncing, bouncing, bouncing. Okay, so now the question is, to the nearest hundredth, with what height does, what is the height that the ball reaches after the sixth bounce? Okay, well here's a bounce, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hits the ground again, and then goes up again. So I'm looking for the height after the sixth bounce. Now, see, I gotta be really careful with this, and it really does help to draw this out here. There's a couple of ways that I can interpret this. I think most of us are going to immediately say that the first term in this sequence is that 10-foot drop. Okay, so A is going to equal 10. But you got to be careful then, because then this isn't the sixth term. If this is the first term, this is term 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then actually what we want here is the seventh term, because the way the question is worded, we want the height after the sixth bounce. Okay, so 6 bounces here, but we're including that initial height before there was a bounce even as our first term. And again, I think that's what most people are going to do with this. So it's not a problem here. You just got to remember that that's what you're going to get there. That it's got to be the seventh bounce. Now the R is a little more complicated. It's not 10% because you're not dropping to 10% the previous height. Okay, that would be a bounce that comes down and then just goes a very little bit here. We're losing 10%, which means that our R value should actually be 0.90, 90%. So now, to figure out what the height is after the sixth bounce here, we're going to figure out what our seventh term is. Okay, now this is not a summation, I'm not adding stuff up, but 0.90 to the power of 7 minus 1. Okay, and so at this point here, I think it's pretty clear this is just calculator work. So 0.9 to the power of 7 minus 1. And we're going to get to the nearest hundredth that this is going to be 5.31.